Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday. My days are messed up. Wednesday Sports Minute, brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am the host, Big B. I am joined tonight by James Gonzalez. How you doing, bud?
Okay from work. Pulled a double last couple of days. Kind of feeling a little stiffy in the nose, and hopefully it's not fever coming up. But as you said, I'm gonna, take some meds. Grab a beer and try to sleep it off.
Yeah, exactly. Just get better. First and foremost, we want to wish everybody that's in Florida to be safe. I know hurricanes coming through or there, so just be safe, and we all want you to know that we're praying and hoping for the best for everybody down there. So just
Evacuate.
Cover. Yeah, evacuate. Yep, exactly. With that being said, James, last Friday, I think it was, Albert Pujols joined the 700 Club. He was the first one, as ESPN reported, to hit 699 and 700 in the same game. If you're a sports fan, 4 people have done it. Obviously, he was going to be the first one to do this. But what's your thoughts on Pujols, your former Angel, getting 700 against the hated Dodgers?
Well, since he was a Dodger last year, I think more people had, not a problem with it as Dodger fans. And then to do something historic like that at Dodger Stadium felt good, I guess, for people there. I bet that whole left pavilion was just crowded with people trying to get any type of area to stand whenever he came up. I can only imagine. So I wasn't watching it, of course, but I got off of work and I saw it on my Instagram, and I thought, well, it's amazing how, for a while we haven't had anybody hit 700. I can't even remember the last.
Bonds.
Yeah, I never count that, of course.
Yeah.
I know King Griffey Jr. hit 600 in Florida.
Oh.
I mean, before that, I can't think of one, but it's one of those things where technology is just amazing, where you don't have to go home to watch it and watch it on the highlights or on the news or something like that. It was right on my phone. And I just thought that was so amazing. And then the fact that really no one else is going to get to 700 unless Juan Carlos Stanton is healthy, Aaron Judge. You guys mentioned it, I think, on Batter Up 2 weeks ago.
On deck.
It would have to be someone that stays healthy.
Yep.
Like you guys mentioned, everybody stay healthy, and then you continue the rate of people of how they hit home runs as well. I'm hoping Mike Trout gets there, but his health is a problem, and age is starting to get to him just a tad. So I think Aaron Judge and Stanton are probably the only two that we'll see in our lifetimes get close to 700. I don't think there's anybody else, honestly. Maybe.
I mean, you would have to look younger, like Tatis,
Right.
if he can stay healthy, Guerrero Jr. But
if he stays off of a ATV,
I think Judd would be probably the next closest, because
Right.
I mean, if he can hit 50 to 60 bombs, of course, if he hits 50, you're looking at 4 years, and then he'll have 700 700. So that's if my math's correct. But
if he stays with the Yankees and has that right field porch there that you can go, the opposite way with, left field isn't too far away. Just the way the jet stream is at Yankee Stadium, he can just keep hitting bombs. And that whole division, when you think about it, all the ballparks that they have, Fenway, Toronto, Baltimore. Baltimore, they put that fence back about 30 feet just because of Judge, just because of that division. So it's going to be harder for Judge when you think about it if he stays playing against the Orioles 16 times a year.
And please welcome in John Elkhorn. How you doing, John?
Screw the Jets. Screw Alaska. And just happy to be here, man. It's been, like James S. said, it's been a really long week. Been working a bunch of overtime.
Yep.
And I have some stories about work for after the show. But just happy to be here and happy to be the Dr. Phil of football on the show. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's okay. So we're just kicking it off with Pujols hitting 700. John, I know you're new to the baseball scene per se. So what's that milestone in your short time of being a baseball fan mean to you?
Dude, I think maybe as a start again in baseball, but also as a man, when you accomplish something that significant. I remember we talked about it earlier this year. I'm like, if he doesn't get it, he said he's done after this year. So I imagine, though, even though he was going to potentially retire and get so close to 700, that's going to itch him. It's going to bother him. It's kind of like Larry Fitzgerald not getting to a Super Bowl. That kind of bothered him, but still had a really phenomenal career. But to get to 700, dude, I mean, that I give him full credit. I mean, you celebrate, you do whatever the fart you want. You celebrate, get a do whatever, but congrats to him, man, because I know that's definitely not easy. And I haven't played sports, obviously. Look at me, I'm a security guard, but I know I swing like a girl. I couldn't even hit 7 bats, much less 700 runs. That is absolutely insane. Congrats to him, and that's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and quotes have come out that says that he doesn't want the ball. If the fan wants to turn it into him, that's great. Or the Cardinals. I mean, so he said something like, souvenirs are meant for the fans, so keep it.
So he's a man of the people.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I give him props to that. I mean, for me, if I would have caught it, I would have definitely given it up to the Cardinals or him, because that means more to him than it means to me. In return, just give me a photo, autograph, maybe something game used that was in that game to remember. But that ball definitely should go into Cooperstown or the Cardinals Hall of Fame.
Maybe I want money, me. Big B.
Maybe it's just me as a sports fan, but I'm like, hey, give me a follow. Let's chat. I mean, like, maybe because I just spent too many podcasting interviews or something. But, I mean, I get the money part, for sure, because, like, that's a lot of money. But also, I think the photo, too, because, I mean, that, I think, means more to him than anything in his career.
No, and I totally get it. I'm not gonna shame anybody that wants to, get the bang for their buck. I'm just saying, for me, as a fan of, been a baseball fan my whole life, I just to them it means more. I mean, yeah, maybe if the time was different and I needed some money, I'd be like, oh, I need this. Take care of me. The ball is yours. But
I would have done it for the money. I'm sorry. No,
that's okay. That's okay. So, speaking on the next historical number that got reached today, Aaron Judge hit 61 today to tie Roger Maris's AL record and Yankee record. So now the countdown begins on when 62 hits. No fan caught the ball in this one. It ended up in the bullpen. So that the fan that came the closest need a bigger glove, bud.
Solid. It just solid.
You probably just lost yourself 1.52 million. Possibly. I mean, So, James, what do you think of Judge getting to 61, potentially hitting 62 here before the season ends?
And the way that he hits the home runs are just amazing. It looks like he's hitting a single, but it literally goes, 300, 400 feet.
Yep.
It's amazing to think that. And the capacity crowd that was there in Toronto definitely got a treat. It's one of those things, though, with the fan there. If it was a newer ballpark, that would go in some seats. But the way that they have their bullpens there at the Sky Dome, it's just different. The fact that 61 years apart from Maris and now Judge doing it, I think that's something to be thought of during this time. And the fact that no other American League man got close to this is really something. Maybe Ken Griffey Jr., if I'm not mistaken, got
Ruth is the last one. Ruth got 60, I know.
60, right.
Yeah.
And then Griffey probably got there 50 something, I'm guessing, but
Possibly. I have to look, but
in the 90s.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to think, though, Maris and all the things he went through just to pass the Babe. They
Yeah.
put asterisks right on, the record just because it was Babe Ruth.
yeah.
That's how much of a hassle it all was. It wasn't as much as Henry Aaron's hassle, but this time there's no problem with Judge getting it. It's a Yankee thing. They're keeping it in-house. And the fact that he could probably get what? He could probably get to 70 if there's
Not this
time
year.
left.
No.
Not this year, no.
No,
I
there's about,
wonder if
I mean, there's about 8 games left. I think you could have. So, I mean, unless he goes on a tear, he'll probably get. I bet you he'll top out at 65.
Yeah. I hope he's doing it legitimate. I hope it's just him being as strong as he is, and that's really it. It's just one of those cool records. When he breaks it, when he does, it's going to be amazing. It's probably going to happen this. I don't know where the next game is, but it's in Toronto. That place will be going crazy.
Yeah.
So, I'm just happy for him. I don't think he was highly regarded, going to Fresno State. I think the A's had him at one point, and Yankees just got him, and he's been thriving ever since.
I know he came up with the Marlins, because he was part of
really?
that. Yeah, he was part of them, their young squad with Hernandez and D. Gordon, and I want to say him and Stanton both were teammates in that one. So, but John, again, what do you think of the 61 home run mark for Judd?
In the words of James Gonzalez, without saying it, basically anyone that leaves the Oakland Athletics plays better and actually plays ball. No, I think that's phenomenal, man. Like I said, DJ Kyle just another one. I understand there's very few games left in the season, but I think the record's now 62.
Well, it'll be 62 if Judge gets there,
okay,
or whatever
so
he ends
61
with.
currently. Okay,
yeah.
But just him getting that record, I mean.
Well, he's tied it, so.
He's tied it, but for him to beat the record, I think is absolutely insane. Just being at it, and it's been a long week. In that atmosphere, my gosh, man, I can't speak tonight, is definitely something amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, personally, I'm glad that Pujols got 700 first, so we could celebrate him. Because I think if Judge would have got 62 before Pujols got 700, that's all we would hear about. But yeah, props to him. Props to the Yankees organization. Got another 60 home run hitter there. 62's right around the corner. Part of me, just because I don't like the Yankees that much. Hope he doesn't get it, but I know he's going to get it. I'm not stupid, so he'll definitely get it. So let's move on to some NFL news because pretty much the playoff races for MLB is done. I think just seeding wise. But let's move to some NFL news. Tomorrow we got the Thursday night game. Who was it again, James? Dolphins and
Miami at Cincinnati.
All right. Miami 3-0, Cincinnati's 2-1.
1-2.
1-2. Oh, that's right. They've had a couple.
Yeah.
So far, James, what's your thoughts on that Thursday night game?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I know the downfall from Tua's supposed back injury. Now it's come to light that I think they kind of made it so Tua can keep playing through a concussion. We're going to see how he does through all that. Cincinnati, coming off their win against the Jets, they're looking to keep some momentum going against the AFC East here. Hopefully, can protect Joe Burrow from that Dolphins defensive line. I mean, their secondary is awesome. Their linebacking corps is awesome for Miami, so that's going to be something to look forward to. With Miami, though, I'm going to look to see if they can get their running game going more. Chase Edmonds, I know, scored 2 touchdowns, but he didn't run as far as I thought he would. And then mix some other guys in there. How they get Waddle and Hill going, and how Gesicki, the tight end. I think that's going to be interesting. We have a lot of weapons on both teams, honestly, guys. And I really can't wait to see this game because, one pick by each team, it could really throw the game off, especially late. So my guess is Miami wins, but I hope it's a really good one. I know the first Thursday night game, it was Chargers and Chiefs, and that one had some drama in there, and hopefully this one has some drama in here too.
Yeah. All right, John, what about your thoughts on the Thursday night game, Dolphins-Bengals?
I swear on Algore's internet, Eli Apple, if we freaking lose this game, it's because of that dumbass Eli Apple. Why is he still on the team? He couldn't catch a cold or COVID if it was right in front of his hands. Like, this is like, I understand, like, joking about, like, Tyreek Hill and Tua. And, if I'm the Dolphins, yeah, you expose him because that's what you do in the National Football League. Guys get exposed. He's the Kevin King of the AFC. That's one of my main concerns. Despite we being the Jets, though, I'm not one of those fans like, oh, my gosh, we got to win against the Jets. Okay, congrats. Something the Browns couldn't do with a minute and a half left. But Joe Burrow still sacked 2 times last week, and the offensive line's not going to be fixed this season. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens are playing really amazing football. Obviously I'm going to be a little bit biased, but I also can't ignore the continued offensive line issues. Number one is how they're going to be Joe Burrow gets sacked a couple of times in the first half, or Eli Apple's going to get exposed. Because you think about it, Tyreek Hill versus Eli Apple. There's no competition there. Tyreek Hill is going to embarrass him. And I don't know why he's still on this team. Does he have a dirty picture or something of, like, Mike Brown? I don't know what it is. You drafted a corner in the draft, and so that's my main concern. Defensive-wise, I got to be honest, Miami's 1,000 times better, if not more, than the Bengals' defense. I can't just say, oh, Bengals are the best in every – no, they're not. Your defensive line is not great, not elite. You drafted the second or third best corner, and so I think the passing attack defense is really what's going to set aside this part of this game. So hopefully they come up with a win, but if you don't, I'm doing a long show tomorrow night. I promise you that.
Well, looking at it, ESPN has the Bengals favored by 3.5. Mainly just because they're at home, I would assume, because that offense is just horrendous, and Dolphins coming in. I mean, when you can come back from 24 points down and win the game against Baltimore 42-35 in the fourth quarter. I mean, they got some weapons. Like James said, though, they got to get that running game going. They can't always rely on Tua in the passing game. So,
well, the Miami thing, though, and I know Tua is questionable for tomorrow. This reminds me also, if I said the RG3 situation, this also reminds me of the Kevin Durant situation in Golden State, where I believe Tua is proved wrong in the first 3 games. I might hear to say I've given up on. Like, I'm still going to criticize him as a quarterback, but the fact is, anyone in the medical staff for the Miami Dolphins needs to be fired immediately because, as we know, when players get fined, James and Big B, that's not really a fine. That fine goes to charity, so it's not really a punishment. It's like you give the money and then they give that money to charity. So there's really no punishment, and I think they have to be fired because the fact that when you see the replay. And as much as I want my Bengals to win, I want Tua to be healthy. You saw him how he was kind of like limping. His body wasn't fully adjusted. That takes more than a week. And so I wish him nothing but the best. But if he plays, I'm going to criticize the Dolphins. Not because my team may lose, but because that's unacceptable. You could potentially ruin a guy's career. And we've seen that with RG3, and it's absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, I know the NFL has put out that they're going to put an investigation out. They said it will not be anytime soon that we'll get it. But
it's just like the Chargers with Tyrod Taylor with his rates. He's just now filing a lawsuit against the Chargers.
Yeah.
So the NFL cannot tell us, excuse me for my rant, that they are about player safety, and you pull bull crap like this.
No, you're right. You're right, John.
And that's what, I'm all for having the game safer. But when you don't tackle in training camp and you rush guys back in for the sake of your freaking ego, and you're going to see guys' careers ruined. I don't want to see another RG3 3 in my lifetime. I really don't.
No, and we don't either. I mean, they try to make the game safer, but yeah, I totally agree with you, John. That trying to rush him back, just I mean, you got another quarterback on roster for that reason. I mean, if you didn't believe in him, then why is he on your roster for one? So
I mean, you got to mind you, he went 4-1 or 5-0 when Drew Brees was out, and now you
Teddy
have Waddle
Bridgewater.
and Hill.
Yep.
Those guys, Bridgewater can play, but again, I will call the Dolphins. If he plays tomorrow, I'll be pissed.
Yeah, no, I bet you he'll be playing. So
I agree. Sadly.
So let's move on. I was just looking at the standings here. I want to get you guys' opinion on 3 teams here. Who's more surprising? Because, and I'm going to leave one team out because I think we all kind of expected them to be where they're at right now. So you got the Dolphins at 3-0, you got the Raiders at 0-3, and you got the Eagles at 3-0. So which team kind of surprised you with their record in 3 weeks in? James?
It has to be the Raiders. For the first or the last 2 years, I think they started 3-0. So I was just thinking about this at work today. Well, they started 3-0. They did the playoffs the year before. Barely made it last year. Okay, maybe they're gonna go to the Super Bowl if they start 0-3 and they shock everybody and go all the way. But then I read, after the game, teams that start 0-3 they have a 2.5% chance to make it even the playoffs. So I think it's surprising, but in a way, it's the way that they lose games. It's always late, and it's always thrilling for other teams and not for my team and my fan base. The way they lost to the Cardinals, improbable. But they let their foot off the gas. They didn't continue to score in the second half. They didn't do anything for that. The last game against Tennessee, they, fell behind early. And at the half, they made a second half comeback. Didn't get the 2-point conversion. The first game, though, it was kind of like the Titan game where they trailed, early, tried to make a comeback, but it fell short. So if they continue to do this, they'll maybe have, 6 wins instead of, 12 or 11 like people projected. So I think that's why, just on projection, I think it's kind of a surprise for the Raiders to be 0-3. That's just me.
No, that's fine. John, how about you? What 3 teams what surprises you of those 3 teams?
I believe you said the Miami Dolphins, one of them.
Yep.
To me, it had to be the Dolphins. Like, we knew the defense for Miami the past couple of years was definitely really good under the radar because not having a quarterback and so many other legal situations on and off the field. I have to give this team credit, though, because I think when you're looking at the Baltimore game, you didn't expect them to come back. 6 touchdowns. Think about this alone. Tua nearly tied Peyton Manning's all-time single-game regular season touchdown record. And for the narrative, is this guy really the guy? You pretend you're going to go after Watson and then the whole Brady thing, and then this guy balls out 6 touchdowns, exposes his defense more than we do when we get out of the shower. It's absolutely insane. I give the Dolphins full credit. I mean, Mike Daniels probably looks like a guy that is a general manager at Bass Pro Shop, but clearly through the first 3 games, they've shown that they can compete. They're showing, at least, I'm not saying this only for the first 3 weeks, they're showing that they're better than the Jets. They're showing that they're better than the Patriots, that maybe, just maybe, they could, I think, contend for a wild card spot. But they shocked me. Tua has played well, and it just shows, like, you put the right weapons around a guy, let him develop, and don't rush it, and you have the right guy, it could work out. And maybe more guys should recruit guys that look like Bass Pro Shop general managers. Who knows? But congrats to them. They've proved me wrong so far.
Yes, they have. God, for me, I'm kind of torn because all 3 of them kind of shocks me a little bit. Philly, I think, shocks me the most because, they signed everybody. It's like, they're 3-0. I kind of figured they'd be kind of in the Raiders situation where trying to figure things out and possibly be 1-2 or 0-3. So the Dolphins, I kind of figured, they'd be 2-1. I think going into week 4. The Raiders, I figured, could be 1-2, 2-1. But I think the Eagles sitting on top, 3-0. So what do you got there, JJ? Had your finger up.
Yeah, really quick, those 3-0 teams made the moves in the offseason, and most importantly, some wide receiver moves. A.J. Brown to Philly, Tyreek Hill to Miami, both with young quarterbacks from Alabama. It seems like both are mirroring each other, and both have a defense now, or have had one for a little bit, but retooled. So I think it's cool. I don't know if we'll see both in the Super Bowl. I think that'd be a good one, but I think both mirror each other when you say that. When you think about that, and they're both 3-0, and you can tell Philadelphia, they kind of had a easy schedule so far. Go to Washington or Detroit before that, Washington, and then Minnesota. So you figure, it would be they would be good for now. But once they get playing Dallas, I can't wait to see those games. And I heard Dak Prescott maybe back in 2 weeks, but I'm not going to be sure of that.
Sorry,
I don't know. I don't know about that.
So I was just kind of curious how many quarterbacks are throwing 7 touchdowns in a game.
Steve Young?
We had Sid Luckman back in 1943, Aaron Burke in 1954, George Belanda in 1961, Y.A. Tittle in 62, Joe Cap in 69, and then Manning did it. Manning and Foles both did it in 2013, and then Breeze, of course, did it in 2015. So
wait, so Rodgers is so good, but he hasn't done the 7 touchdown passes.
No, but he's done it twice for 6. So
I thought Steve Young, but maybe he threw for the most yards in one game or up there.
Yeah. It could have been. But so we got that. Some injury news. We're talking behind the scenes, and it looks like Bosa's going to be out. Wilson's cleared to play, but might alter his throwing style a little bit. So who knows if he'll play this week? Probably still learning. Winston has been not practicing, but he's on his way to London to play the Vikings. And speaking of the what's going on? We know the Vikings and Saints will be in London. So with the hurricane going on in Florida, the Chiefs and Bucks game might relocate to Minnesota here. So, guys, what do you think about that game? Chiefs Bucks, if it goes, most likely it'll be a Chiefs home game because all the fans will come up, travel from Kansas City. But what's your thoughts on that? NFL still hasn't decided if they want to move that game yet. So, James, what do you think?
Well, it's unfortunate, for the Buccaneers and all those Florida teams. They have to be knowing that could happen at any time, especially, September rolls around. So it's really unfortunate. And again, we hope everybody is going to, evacuate, and hopefully everything will be fine. And it's really unfortunate for the Buccaneers because, as you said, that would be a home game, and it's going to be a Sunday night matchup, a home game for Kansas City because, all those people, even on short notice, since it's on the Sunday night, they have more time to get up there. So it's only a short flight, I'm guessing, from Kansas City to Minnesota. So I think it'll be moved. I think they selected it, if it did, for Hurricane Ian. Again, it reminded me, I know we talked backstage about, I think it was 2011, whenever it was, the Vikings played in, because of the Metrodome falling in from the snow.
Played on a
Literally,
Tuesday
the roof
too.
caved in. They played, I think, the Giants that year on the last week of the season. They had to move that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's always odd, these games that are moved. I remember, what was it, last year, the Packers and Saints had to move from the Caesars Superdome to Jacksonville because of a hurricane coming through. And I believe that was week 1. So, unfortunately, this is the way around the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. I think if I remember right too, I think when the Vikings played in Detroit, the game was actually free or low cost tickets to get some fans in there. So I would expect the same thing from the NFL to do here if the game comes up here to have the tickets be cheap or free to the fans to get in. So John, what do you think of the NFL possibly moving the game to Minnesota?
I just wanted to know I am watering my grass, so if it sounds like I'm peeing, I'm not. So people get their mind out of the gutter because I got some grass out here. But honestly, man, you know, I think it's the best choice. If you haven't decided by now, you already know they're not going to play it in Florida. And I've seen some like content people that I follow, and it looks absolutely. People see like their like hotel hallways are flooded, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. And honestly, I think that would be a smart decision because why not at the last minute? Like, hey, I want to go to a game. I want to see Tom Brady, or I want to see. Oh, then here's your perfect chance and opportunity. But I think that would be good and take advantage of that when Brady already has enough distractions. He'll be getting divorced in the offseason. So to hope that opposing team takes advantage of that, and we'll see what happens. But it should Tampa Bay's playing who again?
It'll be Kansas City.
That has to be good because with how Tom Brady has played this season, and I know James, I've said Thomas Brady, whatever. He has not played well this season. He has played distracted. He has not played like the Tom Brady we've seen before. And you take advantage of that, knowing that he's going to, again, other things that are happening off the field. And now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have granted him Wednesdays off, so you take that into account with whatever he's dealing with off the field. I think that Kansas City has to take advantage of that. So you got that rookie defensive player, you have your corner. The running attack is going to be better for Kansas City. So I'll be curious to see though, because last week they didn't play well passing wise, and so I think that they have to be more patient, unlike the dealt with Brady. But we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what the NFL's thinking. I mean, why haven't you made that decision now? It's midweek. Holy buckets. We got Mr. Mess Around. How's it going?
What's up?
So not bad. Just got to show out my truck because everybody's sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Cool. So Mess Around, we're talking briefly about Minnesota possibly being host to the Bucks and Kansas City game and why the NFL hasn't made that decision yet. What's your thoughts on that move, getting Tampa out of there, the Kansas City game out of Tampa?
It's good to keep the players safe and get them out of there, just in case. You never know when or if it's going to hit. So it's kind of weird that they're moving it to Minnesota, though. I don't know if that's like the only place available, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of college stadiums down there, and I would believe the Saints stadium's being open right now. I don't know if the hurricane's going to affect there, but I mean, both teams are going to be in London, so I don't know why they wouldn't move it closer. So anyway, Dave, what's your thoughts on Aaron Judge getting 61 today? We covered that a little bit. We'll recap you a little bit here.
he tied the record, right?
Yep, tied the record today.
I don't know, good for him, I guess. I really don't care for Judge or the Yankees.
Well, you got to watch the replay because the guy that had a chance to catch it probably just let a million slip through his glove, so he missed it. So it ended up in the bullpen, so you'll have to rewatch that. So, Dave, yeah. What's your thoughts on the Thursday night game? We got the Dolphins versus the Bengals.
On the Thursday night, that's going to be a good game. If the Bengals can protect Burrow and let him do his thing with Chase, they got a good shot to win this. And they got to slow down Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Got to get home and get to it and make him throw when he doesn't want to.
That's if Tua plays. I mean, there's
if he plays.
Yeah. I think he will. If not, I've been a Teddy Bridgewater backer since he was here in Minnesota. I think he's a good quarterback. If he's not named the starter, he can come in and do some damage. But with those two receivers, Dave, I think he could probably throw the ball around and mess around and get 3-4 touchdowns. So, outside of that, guys, basketball is about ready to start up here. I think training camp starts in a few weeks. I know hockey's in their preseason. So why don't we talk a little NBA hoops here? Dave, I saw a story that Ball's possibly going to be out the whole year. What's your thoughts on that?
Waste of money. I mean, the guy's really good when he can stay healthy. I liked the signing at the time, but it really looks bad now because he only played like 30 some odd games last year, and they gave him a huge deal. So he's saying, I read an article today that he said that they're hoping he's not out for the full season. They're going to take it day by day and see how the rehab goes. He's erring on the side of caution this time. He doesn't want to rush back like he did last year and make it worse. So it's probably going to be the whole year. But it's a good thing he went out and got a Gordon Dragic, or however you say his name, to back him up. He's going to be the starter now. So,
all right, James. What's your thoughts on your NBA team?
Do you know my NBA team?
Clippers, ain't it?
Yeah. I was just making sure.
I had to think. Say, I knew it was somewhere over there, but I couldn't remember if it was like the Kings or the Clippers. I knew it was in LA.
Yeah. Well, they had media day, and then they had some practices going, and Kawhi. They're taking step by step with Kawhi Leonard. They cleared him for 5 for 5 finally, 5 versus 5. Mm-hmm. So supposedly he could play a game if he wanted to. I think it's all coming down to him if he really wants to play or not. The fact that they were able to get Covington, keep him, Robert Covington, is a great guy to have off the bench. I was kind of worried someone else was going to get him, like Detroit and I forget his name, but like Adam Barber won it. But unfortunately, he stayed. Did lose a big guy, but big players are becoming kind of like dinosaurs, as centers.
Yeah.
But guys, really quick, it just amazed me how the league is going right now, and media days are going on all this week. But a lot of controversy when you think about it. The Celtics with their situation, how there's going to be an intern coach this year because Ama Udoka in his situation within the organization last year. So a lot of awkwardness in that press conference and that media day. You go to the Suns with their owner having to sell or forced to sell because of stuff he did, a couple of years ago or years past. And then the Lakers, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, Patrick Beverly there with Russell Westbrook, and they hate each other. Yeah. I think LeBron got Beverly because they're cool. They compete against each other. They have fun, but I think it's a plot to get Westbrook out of the Lakers somehow. But I just find it weird. LeBron just keeps adding his enemies to his roster. As he's the GM of every team he's been on. But it's just a weird start to the NBA, to media day even, and how the 76ers, how they were able to get PJ Tucker, and how there could have been, tampering with that. They had to answer those questions, but they couldn't say much. So it's just an awkward start. And then Brooklyn, you think about Brooklyn, Kevin Durant, all offseason long. Oh, I don't want to be here.
Say where they go.
Yeah, I don't want to be here. I don't want Steve Nash as the head coach anymore. Blah blah blah. Oh no, I'm good. Everything's okay now. We're fine. Kyrie doesn't need his vaccine anymore. Okay, this year is for real. Barring injury, we'll be fine. So it's awkward all over with the NBA right now. We just need games to keep going to start up.
All right. So, John, I forgot who basketball team you got. So
The Cleveland freaking Cavaliers, baby.
all right.
I'm so damn excited because, earlier this offseason, like, we knew Colin Sexton's going to be gone. Where is he going to go? And then all of a sudden, I'm literally at work, and we're like, oh, my God, holy freaking crap. We got Donovan. Are you serious? Like that, I don't think anyone expected. Even he thought he was going to the Knicks, and even the Knicks thought they were going to get it. And somehow, someway, thank you, James Dolan. You're a freaking idiot. Thank you for being an idiot. And now we get a really good player. I know it's like Colin Sexton, a couple other guys, but when you signed two other players to a max contract, it was just a matter of time when he was going to go, when he was going to be traded. But for Chicago, man, this is why I was so hesitant. We know Lonzo Ball, but he's a bust. I'm sorry, but like, who cares about the media stuff and all the other with the Ball family brand? Go make your money. I'm not talking about that. But he has been consistently injured in his career. He's had some moments, but again, those have been outshined by. He's been as injured as Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson looks really healthy. So honestly, I'd suck for Chicago, but at the same time, I mean, you give a guy that's injury prone a big contract like that, you're taking a huge risk. But for the Cavs, man, you know what? Thank you, James Dolan, for giving me a 4.5-month early birthday present and Christmas present. And I hope the Knicks lose even more games this year. Because it's funny how they were willing to trade R.J. Barrett and all those guys for Mitchell. And then after Mitchell went to my team, the Cavaliers, they're like, oh, yeah, now we're locked in with R.J. Like, bull crap. You were just about to trade your first overall pick for a guy that has on a team that could not win a championship. So I'm just glad the Knicks are being the Knicks, but I can't wait to see what the Cavs do. Because mind you, this offseason, you saw a few videos from a host, I won't say who criticized the Cleveland Cavaliers very much on a show, on a trailer with Callan and James. We won't say who that person is. Say, Cleveland, you're freaking idiot. But we won't name that. We'll keep their identity private. But
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they'll do and how they will definitely adjust, especially with these guys coming in.
Well, if it's the same host I'm thinking of, I mean, he's already ripped the Wolves and said they, threw away everything to get Gobert. They're not going to win nothing.
Oh no, I'm talking about me. I was criticizing my Cavaliers. Okay, I was about to say, like, I don't talk about the Wolves, but no, I say Cleveland. You declined his fifth-year option. You freaking idiot.
No,
Like,
I know what you're saying, but I think the host you're talking about is the same one that after the Wolves traded for Gobert came out and said that the Wolves are stupid and traded their future for a guy that hasn't done anything. So
I think for the Cavs, like, honestly, like, if we're being honest, regardless of me being a Cavs fan and nearly wanted to pull my hair out and nearly quit on my team, I don't think anyone expected him to be traded to the Cavs. No, and I think that I nearly, because I do security, so I'm in the back, we're checking in the back, and I'm like, oh my God, I nearly threw my phone in there, like, holy crap, I screamed, holy crap, and I'm like, oh my God, and the pros are looking at me, oh, it's just basketball, we're good. And I could not focus at work. I could not think straight. I'm like, oh my God, we freaking got Donovan Mitchell. Screw you, New York. Good night.
yeah, no, I did the same thing when the Wolves traded for Gobert. I think their window, is within 3 years. They got to be almost playoff ready every year and get a champion. They got to be in the finals by year 3 of this trade. So
the expectation is definitely high, but it was definitely a good trade for the Wolves.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I can't wait. Honestly, it's been the first year in a while that I said I can't wait for basketball to start to kind of see what this team
I
is.
know, right?
A lot.
It's been a painful. I get it, man. It's been a painful process of me and my Cavs, and after LeBron left, it was a freaking disaster. But I'm glad we're freaking back. Screw the freaking East. Screw the Knicks. You can kiss my dairy air. We got Donovan Mitchell.
All right, so guys, I have nothing else. James, you got anything that you want to cover? I know you've kind of been looping around the internet lately.
Oh yeah, well, Joey Bosa, I heard he's going to be out 4 weeks or more. And I was just thinking they're getting to the teeth of that Charger schedule. I know they go to Houston Sunday morning, my time. So I think that's a big loss among the other injury problems that they have. Keenan Allen, they just lost Slater for the whole their left tackle. Think about it, Justin Herbert with his ribs injury on that side where he has to get protected, and now they're putting someone else there that's not as good. The Chargers could be in big trouble. It would take Khalil Mack to have his opening day game he had against the Raiders, which I was there for. I was not happy. He would have to have that type of game again, and many of them without his sidekick Bosa on the other side of the line. So that's something to look forward to, as the I know that's not a game to look forward to, but as they play the Chiefs, as they play the Broncos, I think that looms large, especially defensively, where if the Chargers aren't scoring enough points like they did not do against the Jaguars Sunday, they only scored, 10? They gave up 38. Well, they're going to have a hard time competing with the Chiefs in the division.
Well, I think it's funny. We talk about Bosa. I think, did we have this early on in his career, or was it the Chargers tight end? We talk about injuries. He's had the potential, and he finally got it going. And then, the Chargers lose again. So if you want to learn a football class, 60 ways to lose, go to John Alcorn. This is a scam.com.
All right. Dave, you got anything? I know you kind of joined the show late. Got anything you want to cover?
My White Sox are out of contention. Big surprise there, huh?
Yeah.
The Guardians.
Yeah, I don't think the Guardians are going to make much of a fuss in the playoffs. I don't think.
Dude, win the whole thing. What do you mean they're going to beat the Dodgers? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would love that to happen. So.
And then
all right, guys.
Trent Williams for the Niners is out for a while too, so that's a huge loss for them.
Yep, exactly. Dalvin Cook is day-to-day. He has a shoulder injury, so we'll see if he plays Sunday.
Yeah, Montgomery's day-to-day too, but I like Herbert a lot better than Montgomery. I love the way that guy runs. He fits the system better than Montgomery, I think. But I wouldn't trade Montgomery. I'd keep them both because it's one good 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Yep. Dave, what about your quarterback being the first quarterback to under 300 yards in the first 3 games?
Well, he said it himself. He said he wanted to say the A word, but he wasn't going to. He said he played like trash.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. He did play like trash. I watching that game, he missed so many open guys. There were like so many plays where 2 or 3 different guys are wide open and he missed them.
And
did he airmail him or did he throw him on the ground?
Was that?
Did he airmail it or did he just spike it?
No, I mean he didn't even look their way. Like they're wide open and he didn't even look their way. Like he could have layups, but he just didn't even look their way. Like he's not reading the whole field. I don't know. He's regressing.
He basically FedExed it because it got delayed.
So, all right, guys, we'll cut this short. So, James, what's your final thoughts?
Well, I just found about this, but it happened about 3 hours ago. The rapper Coolio just died. He has songs Fantastic Voyage, Gangsta's Paradise, 1, 2, 3, 4,
right?
And he made the Keenan and Kel theme. And growing up, I would watch Nickelodeon and Saturday nights. That was always the jam. So it just sucks. All these people that we grew up with and that we read about or, watch videos or we thought were awesome, they're slowly passing away. And you can kind of see his health kind of decline after a few years. And just rest in peace, rest in power to rapper Coolio.
Yep. No doubt. Thank you, Chrissy. She just chimes in with the same sentiment. John, how about you? Final thought.
Eli Apple, I'm coming for you. Honestly, if I'll be listening to the game. We'll see. It's a good show. Just happy to be on, and I just generally can't imagine how much more crazier this NFL season can be.
All right, mess around, Dave.
Sorry, I joined late. I just happy to see that you guys are on, so I decided to pop on. But thanks for having me, and yeah, I can't wait to get back to Between the Ropes for the first time in over a month. So that'll be good. I'm finally starting to feel better. So
Yeah, no doubt. Keep joining Coast to Coast Entertainment. We got shows all week long. OBW keeping it real, creeping it real tomorrow. Saturday we might do a kicking it show. Sunday morning you got morning tailgate and Between the Ropes where you can see myself and Dave. Tuesday Night Mania and On Deck both on Tuesdays, and then we're back here Wednesday with SportsMinute and Bo and Joe show. So
also I'll be back with a nightcap with mess around with myself, James and John here.
Let's go.
It's a sports show, guys. It's not adult themed show. So just
Whoa, if it was that kind of show, I'm definitely not joining. Bro, calm down.
But like James said, rest in peace, Khalil. That was the big news I saw. It kind of took me by surprise. So, with that being said, Dave, thanks for joining. John, James, of course, always great having you guys on. I'm Big B. Check y'all next week on Sportsman. Have a good night.